Can I ask you a question? Have you ever just been walking out of your building at work and on the way home, you replayed everything that took place in your meetings that day? Not because the meetings went badly, but because you didn't show up the way that you intended. You knew what needed to be said and you even rehearsed it. Then the moment arrived and you started like dilly dallying, like rounding the edges, softening the truth, where you were choosing comfort over clarity. Nobody else noticed, but you did. Or maybe you made the decision, but then you spent the next 3 days going over and ruminating over that decision because somebody along the way pushed back. Or maybe you finally got that promotion and everybody else saw a leader, but part of you still felt like somebody trying to earn permission to be in the room. Now, I've been there. For years, I thought leadership felt heavy because leadership was hard. But today, I believe something completely different. Leadership becomes lighter when the person who's leading is no longer divided. And once you understand what that means, you'll never look at leadership the same way again. Because most leaders, they think that they're carrying one job, running meetings, making decisions, leading teams. Actually, they're not. Most leaders are carrying two: the visible job and the invisible job. The visible job is the actual leading, but the invisible job is constantly proving that they deserve to lead. Think about how much energy that costs. Every meeting, every presentation, every difficult conversation, one part of you is focused on the work, where the other part of you is asking, did I sound smart enough? Did they agree with me? Do they still respect me? Did I make the right call? Right? So all of that is exhausting, but not because leadership is heavy, but because division is. You get what I'm saying? This psychologist named Roy Baumeister, he did research on willpower. He found that self-control and deliberate decision making, that they draw from the same limited mental reserve, where every decision, even small ones, it spins from the same account. See, this isn't just a feeling, it's measurable, right? Your brain doesn't have a separate battery for performance confidence and then a separate one for doing the job. It's one battery, and the invisible job proving that it's draining that same battery that the visible job can't even get started. You see, the meeting isn't what's draining you, it's the negotiation inside of you that is. I don't think that most leaders suffer from a lack of confidence. They suffer from competing identities. One version of you knows exactly what needs to happen. The other version still wants everybody to approve. One version wants to tell the truth. The other wants to avoid disappointing people. One version knows that you belong in the room, but the other is still auditioning. And here's what's fascinating: neither version disappears when you get promoted. Pressure just simply introduces whichever one you've practiced the most. That's why pressure feels revealing. It isn't creating someone new, it's introducing someone familiar. You understand? There's some research that examined some things that came from MIT. I think they're called the Sloan Center for Leadership and Change Management. And basically, what they found was that 70% of executives experience imposter syndrome at some point in their career. And it tends to spike right after promotion when the title changes before the identity does. Now, that's not a confidence problem. That's what I refer to as an identity lag: the gap between the seat that you now occupy and the self that you've actually installed in it. So the research, it backs up what the room already feels, that the audition doesn't end when you get the job, it ends when you decide that it does. So for years, I chased confidence. I thought one day, hey, I'd wake up and leadership would just finally feel easy. That day never came. What changed wasn't my confidence, it was my agreement. I stopped asking, how do I feel? I started asking, who have I already decided to be? That's a different life. Confidence depends on circumstances, congruence depends on decisions. Confidence comes and it goes, where congruence stays. Think about the leaders that you've trusted most. They weren't perfect, they weren't fearless, they were settled. See, criticism, it didn't redefine them. Praise didn't inflate them. Pressure didn't reinvent them. They had already decided who would lead. And every difficult moment simply revealed that decision. Tomorrow morning, before you open your email, before you check your calendar, before the meetings get started, ask yourself one question: who is leading today? Not who do I hope shows up, not who do I wish I was, who have I already decided will lead today? Because leadership isn't heavy, division is. When one part of you is trying to lead while another part of you is trying to earn permission, everything feels uphill. But something remarkable happens when those two become one. The decision becomes clearer, the conversation becomes cleaner, and then the team, they become steadier. Not because leadership changed, because the leader did. That's why I believe this with everything in me, that leadership becomes lighter when the person leading is no longer divided. If this has challenged the way that you think about leadership, I'd love to invite you to a free executive webinar. It's called The Leadership Problem No One is Talking About. Because before we can fix leadership behaviors, we have to understand the identity that's producing them. So until next time, remember, every promotion demands someone that you've never had to become before. I'll see you in the next video.